So every tennis match begins with a serve, and as you can see, there are four squares on the court, one of them being highlighted. So these are called service boxes. There's two on each side. So the player serving, which would be the guy in red in this diagram, needs to get the ball into the service box diagonal from him in order to put the ball in play. So when you're serving in tennis, the rules are quite different from basketball when it comes to inbounds and out of bounds. So as long as any part of the tennis ball hits any line that's connected to the service box, it counts in. So the slightest bit of the tennis ball could hit the middle line and it is still inbounds. So the ball doesn't need to completely be in the service box for the serve to be valid. So if a player is serving and misses the service box, it's called a fault. If you do it twice in a row, it's called a double fault, and the opponent will be gifted a point. So what you'll tend to see is a lot of aggression with the player's first serve, and then if they miss, they're going to slow the next one down and make sure they really hone in and hit the service box. All right, so moving on to tennis score. Now that we understand serving, our player here, Novak Djokovic, a legend, he's going to get ready to serve to Daniil Medvedev. So as you can see, it wasn't in the service box too much, but it was still in, and he's going to get a point. As you see here, it's going to go 15-0. So don't let that confuse you. It doesn't mean nothing. 15 is the same as 1. It's just how tennis scores operate. So he's going to serve again. He's going to hit his service box with ease. Now they're going to play the point. Medvedev fails to return it, and we got 30-0. So again, same thing as 2-0, but just tennis is tennis, so it's 30-0. So he's getting ready to serve again. Hits the service box. They're volleying. And there we go. Medvedev fails to return it again, so Djokovic is off to a hot start and is up 40-0. So it goes 15, 30, 40. So understand that the score that we're learning right now is the score of the individual game. It's not the score of the match. So we'll get back to that later, but Djokovic has game point here, fails to get it over, so Medvedev strikes and gets a 15 on the board. So Djokovic is getting ready to serve again, still for game. He hits his service box, and Medvedev fails, so that's game. And what that's going to do is put Djokovic up 1-0 in this set. So this is the first set, and Djokovic is up 1-0. So now we're in the second set on the 7th game, and both players have made it to 40 points. So what's going to happen now is the player that scores next will get advantage point. As you can see, Djokovic just did. So he gets advantage point. So now all Djokovic needs to do is score while having advantage, and he seals the game, which will therefore make the score 5-2. So Medvedev can't return that right there, and Djokovic seals his advantage point, giving him the game. So when it comes to games in tennis, if you remember, Djokovic opened this match off serving. So Djokovic will serve a game, and then Medvedev will serve a game. And this pattern maintains throughout the whole match. So we'll get more into this theme next video, but games where you are serving, you're expected to win because it's a lot easier to serve a ball than receive one at 100 miles per hour. So as you can see in the first set, it did end 7-5, even though we said that tennis sets are to 6. And this happened because both players didn't drop a game, so it was tied up 5-5 games. Djokovic played his serving game. He won his serving game, putting him up 6-5, and Medvedev lost his serving game, giving Djokovic the set at 7-5. So had Medvedev had won his serving game and tied up the games at 6 apiece, it would have went to a tiebreaker, and the winner of that tiebreaker would claim the set at 7-6. So the first set was tied up 5-5. Djokovic won 2 games in a row, so there was no tiebreaker needed. I'm not going to dive into the specifics of a tiebreaker because I don't want to confuse anyone. As confusing as this already is, I don't want to do that. So we are just focusing on game betting. That is it. So there were 12 games in the first set, and that is what I bet on. I bet on the outcome of each individual game. Obviously not every single one, but when I see opportunity, which we'll learn about opportunity in the next video, that's when I bet.